Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Video Game Choo-Choo Podcast. We're back for episode 358. I hope it's right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't look at the numbers, I look at what the number says in front of me. And if that's wrong, it's my bad. Anyway, it's me, John. With me this week is a whole host of galloping ghoulies and ghosts.
What the fuck?
Scott,
Yeah.
are you not galloping?
I'm not galloping.
Clippity cloppity, brother. Get
Don't
to it.
clop at me. I'm disgusted by this.
You hear that? Me neither. Start clopping.
I will not clop on this channel.
Why are you so... like we were talking about this the other day. You won't clop for us.
I won't clop on this channel.
What?
You can't make
Why?
me. Let's move on.
All right. Folks.
Next time.
Folks, it's been a real hootenanny. We got Scott, yes.
Hello and hello everypony. It's me, your top your best brony, and I'm ready to make friendship real.
That's most of the themes, yeah. That's you got them all in the head.
Solon, you're here.
Hi, I'm owned by Hasbro. How's it going?
Oh, which section?
The card section, is that Magic the Gathering?
Yes, Wizards of the Coast.
Yes, yeah. That's all Seattle over here, so
That's unfortunate.
that's my people.
That's unfortunate. LV, you're also here.
I'm also here. I think I'm just in the, Oh wait, that's Mattel, is it? Barbie. I'm thinking about it.
Barbie.
Is Mattel not owned
I
by
don't
Hasbro?
know.
Are they
I
still
don't know
somehow
now.
apart?
I don't think so. No, they're not.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what Hasbro... Well, Hasbro owns a lot of the, huge family...
Transformers,
Yeah.
G.I. Joe.
Well, and I was also thinking of some of the board games, too. But I think I'm
board
down for
games.
G.I. Joe. Down for some G.I.
Okay.
Joe. Yeah.
Who's your favorite G.I. Joe character? Do you have one?
No.
That's fair.
It's Joe.
Yeah,
mine is Joe.
Just Joe.
Yeah, he's a big favorite.
Look, I mean, I'm a big fan of like over the top smarmy villains, so I love Cobra Commander, but like also it's
Oh,
cliche.
who doesn't?
It's cliche though to say my other favorite, but like come on, it fucking Snake Eyes whips ass. Snake Eyes has such a cool design. He's just like
oh, yeah.
one of
I
the
remember
cooler
that one.
ninjas. Yeah. Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow both have cool designs.
Was Hasbro Gem in the Holograms? I don't remember. Could have been.
Yes?
Because they definitely were competing with Barbie. Like they were not in the same line. Might have been. Don't know. It's all a blur. All those '90s cartoons.
Yeah.
John, I had no idea how much you knew about G.I. Joes.
I when I was younger, my mom's second husband was really into G.I. Joe, and so I have seen the movie a few times.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like the live action
Live
movie or
action?
like
No, the cartoon one
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
from the 80s, yeah.
That must have been fun. Yeah.
It's a pretty alright movie. It's just very funny to watch because they very much wanted to kill off a bunch of characters because that was right after the Transformers movie. Because the point of both of those movies were to kill everyone off and then like restart the like toy lines basically, so they could have a
Right.
bunch of new characters.
Right.
But when they killed Optimus Prime in the movie, it went over so poorly that they had to like hastily rewrite the G.I. Joe movie and make it so Duke doesn't get killed. Like Duke, the main guy of the Joes, and then they had to bring
gotta protect Duke.
yeah, and then they had to bring Optimus Prime back like a year or two later anyway because everyone was so upset about it.
My favorite G.I. Joe was Hard Murder the Assassin, who loved to kill. His catchphrase was, "I love to kill and I love to do it more."
I don't know if you're telling the truth, but that sounds legit.
Yeah, no, it's exactly true.
Okay.
Well, I feel like we've all been participating in a lot of murdering of like zombified individuals and like werewolves and shit.
I would say more lichenized.
Lycanized, yeah.
Like,
Because I know that I know that we've like as a group here, LV. I know you haven't, but
I have
pretty much.
not.
Yeah, but the
I'm a
rest of us have
witness.
like you have been witnessing. On
Yeah.
the,
I've been
on the
witnessing
outskirts.
crime. Yes.
Yeah.
I am not.
You've come to bear witness to probably our most feral episode yet, Resident Podcast.
I am here as an objective. From an objective.
A conscientious
Yes, there we
observer.
go. Conscientious objector.
Yeah.
No.
A conscientious objector. So you're not about it. I'm not going to observe passively. I'm just going to outright object
And,
this,
like,
but from the sidelines.
Quietly teaming, politely.
But we have all pretty much been playing a lot of Resident Evil 8 as well as a good amount of 7. Because Scott, I know you streamed some of it recently, 7 specifically. I actually played all the way through 7 the past few
me
days.
too.
Oh, you finished it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only thing I didn't play was the like Chris DLC, which I actually watched you play in the server, which you can always check out at the GameZone.zone.
Yeah, you can. But that was at like 3 a.m., so you're probably not going to be up when I do that. But that was just because I finished.
People like to be up.
I mean,
West Coasters, baby.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
normal midnight for me.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we could talk about 7 first, just because that one came out first. Yeah, Blue.
That's funny that you both like jumped into it and then just had to go like finish it all the way through and I'm starting to realize this with Resident Evil games. They're basically like the Pringles of video games.
I mean, kinda, like, obviously I very much enjoyed my playthrough of
Oh yeah.
of 7. Like, it is a very fun game, very very scary, very cool, very a lot of things. But I will be honest, the main reason why I blew through 7 as fast as I did was because I hadn't finished 8, or I hadn't finished it, but I wanted to finish it before I play through 8. And
Yes.
people are already starting to spoil stuff for 8, so I'm like, fuck, I have to get through this shit real quick so I can get through 8 real quick so I don't get spoiled. That is basically what happened.
We can take an aside just to talk about 7 first if you want, because
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
7
I said that.
is largely a pretty interesting game in that like it really goes out of its way to like try and redefine what Resident Evil would be in a more modern sense, which is especially weird considering like a year later the RE2 remake was out and that game like kind of blew everything out of the water. But taking Resident Evil and putting it in a first-person perspective for the first time ever, like, definitely ratchets up the horror, the atmosphere. But also, I didn't find that game particularly scary at all. If anything, I thought it was really, really goofy. But, like, in a good way. Like, in the way Resident Evil should be goofy, you know?
I thought it was goofy, but also I got startled.
Which parts did you get startled at?
A bunch of them. There's a bunch of times where someone jumps out at you and grabs you and starts yelling at you.
Yeah, people love to yell at you.
They do love to yell at you.
Yeah. How did you feel about like the ending section? Because that's definitely the most contentious part of the game.
I feel like it was just okay, I didn't hate it. It was just like, yeah, here's this boat that you're on, and you have to collect some items, and I don't know, it felt like the rest of the game.
I like when these kinds of games disempower you, and like just starting that section out, and like you just have nothing, and you're given like an impression of a kit that you're gonna be getting like in a flashback sequence, but like you having to start again from nothing is always like a really cool feeling to me, and that's probably my favorite part of just like starting any game is just like collecting what you can and then scrabbling together some kind of kit in order to like make the rest work. Like like the empowerment fantasy of just like having all of these cool guns and stuff is fine, but I like having nothing and then like needing to find something, you know? And I like that section does that for you, but I also think it doesn't really do much else beyond that. It's so weird because it's like they have the Baker estate, and they have so many like interesting things that can happen in it. Like each section has its own like pursuer enemy. What's the word for it? There's like a specific word for it, like a stalker enemy, you know. And like they all do different things, and you're learning the mechanics of how they work. And then on top of that, there's like other like normal chuds you can fight, but they're also largely pretty difficult if you're just trying to pistol them. So it has this really interesting mix of just getting in there and like scrapping it up with and trying to kill whatever you can find, while at the same time like learning all of these different patterns and how to manipulate these enemies, and learning all of the really cool routes through the Baker estate and all the like weird ways they interconnect. And you get outside the Baker estate, and then it's just kind of like you're just kind of done. Like like it sort of starts with the Lucas section where it gets a little more linear, but it's also like they tried to really evoke Saw and that kind of mood in that kind of section, and that's cool. And then the rest of the game I feel like doesn't really live up to it, because at that point you're just like, you're not dealing with any interesting characters anymore. You're just shooting bad guys. Like you're just shooting nameless bad guys.
John, help give me some context into this and set this scene for me. So it sounds like the ending of this, your protagonist Ethan Winters, our good boy, he's just love his wife.
He loves his wife.
He has somehow left the residence of evil.
Yeah. So
and
yeah,
he's just out on the bayou, because you're in Louisiana for this.
You leave with your wife on a little dinghy, and then you come across a boat, and it's the boat
That's
that
romantic.
like. It's the boat where, like, shit went down, basically, and, like, all is revealed on the boat. You learn all the twists and turns from the boat.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, you get, like, captured by the goo, and then your wife has to come and save you.
You do, in fact, get grabbed by the ghoulies.
Yeah.
Incredible. I like the idea that all is revealed with you and your wife on this boat in the middle of the bayou.
It's pretty good, yeah.
And then after that is one more section in a mine, and it's just like, it's more of the same. It's just like, it's just fighting enemies and nothing else. It's just a linear pathway. Mm-hmm. You get some more.
I would figure
lore.
If you're in like a mine shaft, there's not going to be a bunch of like historical documents or like lore dumps back there too.
There is some lore stuff, but it's like,
okay.
Listen, this is the Umbrella Corp. Well, in this, it's not necessarily the Umbrella Corporation, but the shadow of the Umbrella Corporation looms large over the Resident Evil series.
Yes.
And
really?
And everyone is doing some weird underground laboratory research that shouldn't surprise anyone.
I once called the Umbrella Corporation the Bowser of horror games. Like, he's gonna show up.
I mean,
Wesker's not showing up or anything. He fell into a volcano.
Yeah.
Oh. Dry bones.
Is there any title in the series where they actually do not show up? Or is it inherently at the core, everything seems to go down to the fact that it's their fault somehow? Like, it's all connected back to them.
I actually can answer this. I've only played Resident Evil 8, the Village, but there is a consistent theme throughout all of the Resident Evil games that are about the hubris of humans trying to control zombies, or what are they called? Bioweapons?
Yes. BOWs, yes.
BOWs. And so any person that tries to control a bioweapon of some kind, you find out is related to the Umbrella Corporation at some point. And not because the Umbrella Corporation is necessarily evil. They obviously are.
They're extremely evil. Let's be real.
But the people who make that corporation up make the choices that say, I'm smart enough, I'm cool enough, I have the biggest weapons, I've got the biggest dick, I can make these POWs, these BOWs do whatever I want. And that's what makes up the Umbrella Corporation. And so no matter what name they go under, it always comes down to the same idea that they are trying to control BOWs. And there's a bunch of different, the most recent games start looking at different ways that you could, do that kind of thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it's all Umbrella, baby. Because look at that symbol. How could you resist it? It's just a radial.
It's so
logo.
simple, and yet when you see it, you're like, God damn it, not again.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting. There's like this expectation that already is the foundation at the core of like what is causing all these issues in these games, yet somehow every time you go into a new one, it's still like not a shock a reaction, but more like just like
it's more so that like Umbrella in this point in the timeline is long dead. Like it's gone. Like it's fucking destroyed.
Right. The recent titles take place in like our years, right? Am I correct? Like 2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the original takes place in 1996.
Yeah.
Or 1998, I think. Because 1998 because it came out in 96, and they're only going to do like 2 years ahead or whatever. But it's the kind of thing where it's like Umbrella's been done. Like they fucking ruined Umbrella. It's gone. But like the shadow of Umbrella's research keeps popping up in certain spaces, or like people who were once tied to Umbrella find themselves in different roles in different companies, and it's like it's all about like where the chips fall, I guess, when it comes to Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8, because they tried to very explicitly say are we cool with spoiling the ending of RE7 in this? Because like it's a very public ending. I feel like a lot of people have seen it.
I mean,
I think, prefacing it here, but also this is going to lead into 8 anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm down with it.
Yeah, we can just kind of lead this into 8. I mean, the way that 7 ends is like straight up you beat the final boss, and then like a helicopter shows up, and it's Chris Redfield on the helicopter, and he's got an Umbrella logo on his like vest.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, how did he become a part of Umbrella? What happened?
What is going on?
And then they have like a free DLC that's like you playing as Chris, and like one of the first things that happens is he gets like a call on his like little receiver thing, and he talks to somebody, and he's like, I don't really like working for a company called Umbrella. And they're like, well, actually, they're like, well, what we actually are just a bunch of people who used to work for Umbrella, and we felt bad about it, so we made a new PMC to fight against the BOWs, and we called ourselves Umbrella to take responsibility for it.
Yeah,
And
it's like
all right,
it's like this weird backfilled in explanation in order to like make this extremely strange twist at the end of 7 make any kind of sense whatsoever. Because I feel like 7 was very much a Hail Mary for them. Like if people weren't going to be into this, they weren't going to be into it. So it's like by the end of 7, they just throw in like this gigantic twist that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then like, as soon as people go, oh shit, this game rocks, and then buy a whole bunch of copies, they're like, fuck, we gotta do more stuff with Resident Evil. Shit, we gotta make this make sense. And then they eventually added in a DLC that explains it. Like, it doesn't even really explain it in 8 that much. It kind of does, but not really. Like, it's all pretty much, like, that entire part is pretty much just explained in the DLC.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is why that DLC is free, and they keep pushing it so much, because they need to be like, no, listen, you need to play through this, because this, like, these, like, 2 lines of dialogue fix everything, because of...
It's gonna make so much sense, trust me.
Yeah.
So, you can kind of see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about how these games kind of feel like a can of Pringles, because, like, you get through the whole can, and you're like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have, like, all right, this is kind of a hollow feeling, but also you want more, but you only want more right at the end. You don't want more when you're eating the Pringles. You're like, yeah, these are good. I like this. And then you end the can of Pringles and you're like, oh crap.
See,
I gotta get another can of Pringles.
I kind of disagree, because when I was playing through 7, I was just like, all right, I'm looking forward to playing through 8 after this. And then when I finished 7, I was like talking to some folks about 7, and they were like, the DLC for 7 is also really good. And I was like, okay, sure. And then I looked it up, and I was like, okay, well, the DLC by itself is $30. But if I go out and I buy a used copy of the gold edition, which has all the DLC built into on the disc, so it's not like a code or anything, that's $20. So I straight up went out and bought the like Game of the Year version or whatever that has all the DLC for $20, even though I didn't like technically pay for RE7 because it was one of the like PS Plus collection things on the PS5.
Right.
So like I just had it. So, now I have a physical copy of RE7 because, it was cheaper than just buying the DLC packs, basically.
But I think I get what someone means, like, and to kind of like prelude to when your review of 8 does get published, you go into this idea where it felt like you were comparing the experience a bit as someone who was not familiar with the series prior. Like, you compared it to something like consuming something from like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in which going in you can kind of like contain everything, and you can still enjoy like blindsided by everything else and not really knowing everything else, but there's still things to it, especially towards the end, that's that are very significant, in which you do need the context of having played or at least being familiar with the other games to get into it. And it seems like also how 8 ends, it very much ties into that issue where it's like, oh man, now what now? This is clearly like a sequel hook. And that's how I kind of felt when my experience with like, I've been really enjoying the TV series out of the whatever phase we are in terms of the but then there are so many things about them that are like, and I think a lot of them are doing very intelligent things, but there are so many things about them, like, especially with how they conclude, it's like, wow, this is clearly like a sequel hook to this movie upcoming in the next 2 years or so. And it's like, that's a little hard to unpack. And there's like many things in them that still do happen that I cannot appreciate as much as someone who has been so detached from seeing those movies like a long time ago and kind of does not care that much. I just kind of like watching them. I'm not like a huge fan of them, right? Not a huge super fan, I would mean. But I do kind of get someone's point. It's not like he's comparing them to Pringles. Like, he's not saying they're Pringles, comparing them as in like fast, quick, no nutrients.
Sure.
Kind of, it's
not in
more
like that they're cheap.
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
just like
no.
it's like pop and go, and it's like, oh, I need more to feel fulfilled, because that experience alone is not enough for like a substantial meal. I kind of get what you mean.
Okay.
Well, good news,
I
because
wouldn't even go that far.
You have at least 7 other games you can play.
I sure do. Scott, that sounds like a threat.
Do you like light gun games? There's 2 pretty good light gun games.
And there's like 80 more that are terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a curated list of what you should only focus on anyway.
Oh yeah, no, it's Resident Evil
have
1 through 8, and also
so all of them,
and also Code Veronica. You could maybe skip 0. Like 0's fun as like.
Oh, you're gonna say like, skip 0, but not skip 6?
Well, 6 is stupid. Like 6 is dumb. Is the thing. 0 and 6 are the ones that you recommend just to see how low this series can get. Like, but also there's Revelations and Revelations 2, which are apparently both very good.
They are good, yes. There's a lot of very good Resident Evil games. If you were to actually like want someone to write down a full list, because I mean, like,
and I have, and I sent it to Solon.
All right, well, there you go. Okay.
It was at like 1:30 in the morning, and you sent me like this like Bible into my DMs.
That's a very Scott thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect people to read them at night, because I'm awake at night, and that's what I'm doing all my thoughts, and I just kind of expect people to read it when they wake up.
Yeah, so I guess just to real quick mention, like, the DLC for 7 is really good. It's, it goes by kind of quick, but it is very fun and worth it.
Did you play any of the other ones, or did you just play the Chris one?
I played through, like, all of them.
Really? I wanted to actually check out that one where you play as Jack Baker's brother.
Yeah, so there is
Little Baker?
Yeah, Jack Baker. You play as Joe Baker. There's like a hidden.
Baker.
Yeah, there's a hidden uncle. So
Uncle unlocked. Wow.
Yeah. So let me kind of let me kind of run through it. So there's like there's a few just like modes that are just like, oh hey, here's like a gauntlet mode where you have to survive as long as you can. There's like there's a mode that's called Ethan Must Die, where it's just like a section of the game but way harder, so you have to like try to stay alive.
Support that just thematically.
Fully. There is a blackjack minigame.
What?
Nice.
Yeah. There is just straight up a blackjack minigame where you're playing as the camera guy that the bakers kidnap from the beginning of the game.
And really funny.
Yeah, and Lucas has him like chained up, and you play blackjack against another guy chained up, and it's just like whoever wins gets to survive, basically. And it's very stupid because there's also like power-ups and shit. Then there are some other like little side mission things. There's one called Bedroom, which you're playing as the camera guy again, and it's basically just like a single like puzzle room where you have to try to break out of a room where like if you make too much noise, then it like alerts Marguerite, and you have to like set the room back up how it was, or else she'll like notice that you like were fussing around and she'll kill you. There's one called Daughters.
So they do a bunch of like Saw-like things.
Yeah.
With this camera guy. Okay,
Yeah.
That's funny.
It is. There's one called Daughters, which is straight up like a short prequel thing where it just shows like basically the night that shit went down for the Bakers, which is really sad. Like it makes me feel really bad, like because you know there's like that part where like the basically like the ghost apparitions of Jack is just like, please help my family, you know, like we didn't want to be like this. And then they, you know, tie back to that when, you know, they show, like, they straight up show how nice of a family they were. Well, at least that Jack and Marguerite and Zoe were. Lucas was always kind of a piece of shit. But, like, you know.
Here's the thing is, like, all of them eventually became insane murderers because of the weird virus. But Lucas, from the jump, was already a serial killer, like, before anything even happened.
But yeah, like I mean, like it straight up starts off with there's like the aftermath of a hurricane, like that's what caused the boat to sink, like that, and also the fucking you know the crazy shit. But like you know it like Jack is just going out there and like helping people out like that are like stranded in the water, and like they're all like trying to like they're holding them up in the house, you know, like trying to take care of them, and like their kindness backfires on them, and that's why shit goes bad for them. Like it's sad. And then the last thing is it's called The End of Zoe, which is another thing where they basically went, oh, we have like a small loose end that we didn't explain, because Zoe is this is like the baker's daughter. And she like kind of helps you out through the game, and she's like, you know, she's like a little infected, but she's not like, you know, evil or anything. So she's basically trying to help you and trying to like escape with you so she can get cured and like, you know, just get away from her family. Do
you remember the choice like at the end of the like entire estate section where you choose whether or not you want to cure Mia or Zoe?
Yeah, they basically disregard that, and they're just like, well, yeah, the canon is that you cure Mia.
You cure Mia, obviously.
Yeah, because with Zoe, she doesn't, like, turn into, like, a monster thing. She just turns into, like, a crystal.
Yeah, so that whole I went and watched the like, what happens when you choose Zoe instead of Mia in that section, and it's like, you have the part really shortly after where like you're rowing on a rowboat with her, just like you would do with Mia, but you're just talking with Zoe for a bit first, and then Zoe just dies. Like she just crystallizes and dies, and it's like, excuse, like what? Why did this happen? Like, why did you just straight up kill her? And then it jumps to the part where you switch perspectives to Mia anyways, who now it's really confusing as to why Mia is actually there at the boat, because they just left her at the compound. Like what? Why even have that choice in the game if like one of the choices is just clearly the wrong one?
It's very
so
weird.
They seriously just didn't finish that whole idea, and they just had to be like, sink the boat.
Yeah, like
Kinda,
Hard
but
pivot.
so they straight up, like, at the beginning of that DLC they show the quote unquote choice cutscene, but it's just you picking Mia, and but like Zoe's thing is she like crystallizes, but then it reveals that there's a secret baker, Joe Baker, who's just like a fucking big muscly like Bayou man, like a gator wrestler basically in the fucking forest. And he just comes across Zoe and he's just like, "Don't worry, I'll save you." But he like beats up a bunch of the soldiers, and the soldiers are like trying to explain, like, "No, we're trying to like get her to safety. What are you doing?" And he's just like, "I'll cure her." So you have to go out and find the cure and like to save her, and just a bunch of other crazy shit goes down. But he doesn't use guns. He uses his fucking bare fists to beat the shit out of the monsters.
Really good.
And
Yes.
it's really good. And like you can like craft like spears and shit to throw at alligators, because if you don't, then they'll kill you. And it's just like it's great. It's just like this like hour and a half long thing where you're just going around fighting stuff, and you also get to punch the shit out of like a swamp thing twice. It's really good. It's really good.
I definitely
Highly
want to play
recommended.
that DLC at some point.
Highly recommended.
It's such a strange thing. We talked so much about Resident Evil 7 at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
let's switch over to Resident Evil 8.
I'm just really glad that. Can I start off
Please.
with talk about RE8?
Yeah, of course.
It's really great hearing you all talk about RE7 and having it just have the same kind of like big ending campiness that I was really hoping for in RE8. I thought these games were going to be scary, and turns out, like everyone had already completely said about Capcom's franchise like series here, they're not scary. There is a little bit of thrill, a little bit of tension, but for the most part, RE8 was just a delightful ride. And when I put my review out for it, it's going to take a little time to make the whole video, but it's going to thoroughly go through the entire game. When we talk about it here on the podcast, I feel like we should probably limit to Lady Dimitrescu's house, her big old castle.
Yeah, we're going to be keen not to spoil anything.
And I know John hasn't gotten this far, but I would feel remiss to not talk about the house that you go to after that. So
yeah, we can avoid that.
I'll
say it whips. It's great. It's probably my favorite part of the entire game.
Well, I'd like to grab your ear for a little bit if John's okay with that.
Sure.
Do you want me to like take off my headphones or some shit?
Yeah, we'll talk just very briefly about House Beneviento.
All right, I will deafen my headphones, and you all can just tell me when you are done.
Oh,
wait.
John, you good?
Do you want me to stick around for the start, or what do you want me to do?
Yeah. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Let's talk about, RE8 together, and then I'm just prefacing that when we get to this point, we'll hedge all these parts.
Okay.
I'm shocked to hear, now that you've talked about RE7, that RE8 starts with a completely different twist that's exactly the same, and that is that you don't trust Chris Redfield.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen this trailer for the game, for Resident Evil Village, you
we're
are
cool
like
talking about
hanging
this.
out at you're hanging out at your house with Mia, and everything's just fine, chill. You got your baby with you, and then Chris Redfield shoots up the house and takes out your wife and abducts you to the city. The village, the titular village.
Owns your wife. Let's use the correct parlance. He completely
Right.
operator destroys your wife, like 100%. Decimates
It's
her,
like
splatters her fucking carcass across the pavement. He destroys
5
the shit
shots
out of your
to her
wife.
torso, and then also double taps her.
Yeah,
Oh,
he got like a triple kill on your wife specifically.
There's a
Mm-hmm. And the entire section after this is Ethan, bless his heart, screaming, "Why? Why are you doing this, bro? Hey, why? I thought we're like,
Hey,
aren't we? Hey." And he doesn't get any answer for that. Just he suddenly wakes up in the village, and you're just like, "All right, we're in Romania. Here we go."
hate when that happens.
And what's shocking is that there's almost no time until like near the end where he's like, "Oh, this is all connected." No, he from the get-go is like, why is this happening to me again?
It's very funny. He's just like, damn
Yeah.
it, it's happening again.
Yeah. What I really like about this game is how it's distinctly it is a sequel to 7 in the way it's
Yep.
like one there are a lot of really obvious comparisons of this game to Resident Evil 4, which is like they try to grab a whole bunch of the like mechanical trappings of 4 and put them into this game, which is like it's a mixed bag of how successful it is. I think it was probably very unnecessary, but also at the same point, it's like that kind of stuff is still like I like to upgrade guns, you know. I like to make the numbers go big. So
Who doesn't?
Oh yeah, you spend like 40% of this game just scrounging around looking for herbs and gunpowder in people's houses, not fighting anything. Like
Yeah.
there's absolutely no threat while you're doing this, and you're just like, is there anything in this corner? Is there anything in this little cabinet here? I'm gonna pull open your drawer real quick. Oh hey, there's some chem fluid. I'm gonna put that on my wounds real quick. Great, delicious. Video game.
Mhm.
But yeah, what I was saying is like the ways in which this game are a sequel to RE7 are so absolutely distinct, like from the ways like I think a lot of Resident Evil games have been like sequels of other ones. Like I feel like this is the first time in the entire franchise where like a game is just sort of a very direct sequel to like what happened. Like it takes place like a couple years after, but it essentially tries to continue the same story, while like other ones in the franchise are more about like telling isolated stories within like the framework of this world, but still like circling around the same cast of characters. And
Right, especially because they're trying to sell you that this umbrella like thing is a worldwide thing. So 4 through 8 are all in different countries, continents, and trying to be like, oh, this is a worldwide conspiracy, guys.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Like it's really interesting because it's like the story of 7 is so interwoven with everything in this in a way that like it honestly it feels like sort of ham-fisted, but it's like it's ham-fisted in the way like Resident Evil stories are extremely campy. So it's like as much as I could like critique how bad the writing is in this, it's like it's also exactly what you expect and what you come here for. So it's very beautiful in that regard. It's really cool, like the way Ethan, this character who is just like the dumbest guy possible in 7, continues to be the dumbest guy possible in 8. Like going back to 7 real quick, in that DLC that John played of the where you like play as Chris in 7, Chris gets to do like the melee moves he had in previous games, like where you would stun an enemy and then you would do like a big punch on them. But Ethan doesn't get anything like that.
But Chris did like combat training with him.
Right.
And so you're saying that 7 has like the same knife animation where it's so like implying that Ethan literally learned nothing over the last 3 years.
Yeah, like
Because he's still like knifing lichenous zombies in the exact same way.
Like he did
using a stabbing knife as a slashing implement. It's so funny.
He didn't get the training of how to do a big suplex to someone. It's just so strange because it's like RE7's like DLC translated a bunch of mechanics that like were in previous games into first person, especially the melee stuff, but it doesn't do that in 8. And 8 is trying to be a throwback of 4, and 4 is the game that introduced those mechanics in the first place. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, why? Like I think it says a lot about Ethan Winters as a character that he's just such a dumb guy, and maybe that his hands are so fucking destroyed from being ripped off and reattached over and over again that maybe he's not very good at punching. Or
There's that. Hey, you gotta contend with that. It might just be he had a kid 6 months ago.
That's how it is.
He's a new dad.
Yeah.
That changes you.
That changes your hand.
It changes your hands that have been cut off repeatedly.
You can't think when you've got a 6-month-old in the house for the first time. You can't remember your battle training. You have to go back to the basic instincts to... Uh-huh.
It's just really interesting because Ethan Winters as a character has this like unique mechanical identity that the others don't. Like, he doesn't look down iron sights. Other characters look down iron sights. So it's just kind of the implication is that he's just hip firing every single weapon. Which is why his aim sucks so bad.
What? Oh, you're right. That does explain that. His aim's really bad.
He's really bad at hitting people. But, like, you play as Chris in that DLC, and he's just looking straight down a red dot sight. Like a normal person. Or he's looking down his pistol sights, and it's like, why can't you do this, Ethan? Ethan, you literally got military training. That's like the first thing they teach you. Ethan? It's what I'm trying to say is that all of this compounds into Ethan being the dumbest boy alive.
Do you think it was intentional? Like, do you feel like they actually built that into his character? Like, okay, he has these weird things about him that mechanically don't make sense as how other characters have worked in past games.
Some of it is definitely deliberate, more thematically. I would say probably the hip firing stuff is more so that, like, they really want you to be able to see the enemies that are in front of you,
right?
And like see their movements. So they probably thought, as a design decision, we should probably like make sure the gun is taking up very little space on your screen, especially because you're going to be dealing with multiple enemies. You're going to be fighting relatively slowly, and you need to be able to watch their movements like as best you can.
Right.
But it's like other FPS games still do that, but like let you look down iron sights.
Right.
So the implication is that Ethan Winters just doesn't know how to hold a gun.
Dumbest boy alive.
He's really stupid. I love him. He's a really...
So you take him into Romania and he gets to know the village and the last couple villagers, but the moment you meet them, they just all die. And mostly to their own, like, hubris. They end up, like, trying to protect each other, but then you just kind of watch them all, like, end up burning their own house down with everyone inside of it. And Ethan just is, like, so frustrated by this whole situation and having to jump out the second-story window of this burning house, being like, why can no one survive these things but me? Why does it have to be me? But then you, like, hang out in an empty village for the whole, like, well, for, most of the rest of the game.
Yeah,
and
it definitely becomes your, like, hub area.
Wait.
When you're
there's no other villagers.
Wait. The village you were complaining about earlier is empty because all those people died in the beginning.
So what happens is the people in the entire village get, like, infected by a light.
Oh, okay.
Turns them into werewolves.
Yep.
Like,
when it happens.
It's very nebulous how it happened, but it did happen.
All right.
There's also way more lichens than there are, like, houses in this village. So, like, very strange the like people to house ratio. But there's a point in which you do meet actual people who have not been lichenified.
Right.
And then you take them to a safe house, and then in that safe house they fuck everything up and get all of the, like, last remaining survivors killed. So it's just this, like, it's like this depressing tone setting thing to, like, try and like relay this idea that, like, like, this shit's fucked, like, nobody's, like, getting out of this alive, like, you even though, like, you have protagonist armor, are probably not gonna, like, you're gonna have a real brutal time. And the game is
That's
brutal.
Kind of what they give you, but the tone of everything and how it all comes off, because everyone's talking to you in just American English accents while wearing, like, medieval kinds of, like, clothing, like 18th century stuff.
Let me interrupt you real quick, just to be extremely real. One, at this point, Ethan has lived in Romania for about 3 years. He's probably learned Romanian. That's probably what they're all speaking. Two, everyone in that village also has, like, modern, like, radios and stuff. Like, they're not completely divorced from the outside world. Really?
Okay. Well, that changes some of my theories, but that doesn't matter. What the the thing that it shows you when you're like playing through this is it feels like a village community theater kind of production of what a werewolf attack would look like.
Something like that, yeah.
And
I
so
can get
there's
that
this
impression.
kind of like artificial feeling to it all because they don't really go in hard on trying to make it feel super authentic because it doesn't matter. Capcom's like, look, we got to kill off these villagers. Let's just show them you turn into a werewolf. When you do, show them the thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do the werewolfification real quick and get moving on because we got to go to the cool place right now. So it just kind of sets this tone that is a little comical in a way. Absurd is the right word. Absurd. Much that
you can poke so many holes in it. It's
in so much that Ethan might be a kind of a dumb guy, but also the world he's in is really dumb.
Well, yeah, it's the world of Resident Evil.
In a fun way, and that sets the tone for going to a place where there are not dumb people. There's actually some smart people. And this is where you're at, right, John?
Basically, yeah. I'm like around where, you're starting to get into the castle and all that.
Yeah, paint this picture. How did you like going into Lady Dimitrescu's castle?
It's a big castle, and it just kind of reminded me. The one thing that I just thought about the whole time that I was playing was I was thinking about how I was breaking all the stuff in there, and how I felt pretty that I was pretty actively upsetting Lady D there, because I was just like, I feel like she, like, when I was doing that, when I looked around at how this place was set up, I was like, she gave a damn about how it looked. And I was just thinking about how in like RE4 you go to Salazar's castle, and it's just like, yeah, no, this is just like a fortress. He doesn't give a shit about this. You break all of his pots and pans, he's not gonna care. But here, she gives a shit. Like, she went to the Hobby Lobby and bought that vase, Like,
yeah.
She entertains guests.
Yeah.
You have that feeling,
That pot is at least 200 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has some ammo in it, so nice out.
Yeah.
She has like a West. She probably has like a West Elm couch you probably broke on the way, and those things are like 2K. I think it makes sense you would feel bad.
Well, she probably broke it chasing you.
Yes.
But still.
I custom big couch just for her.
Yeah, like, I don't necessarily feel bad about it because she's an evil vampire that's killing hundreds of people to make fucking wine, but,
There is... You joke, but there is, like, actually one, like, piece of comically oversized furniture, and that's, like, after you get to her room, and you, like, go back and explore that area again, you can find her bathroom, and her bathroom is just, like, a gigantic tub, and it's, like, the tub is way too big for the room, so it's, like, sideways, and then right next to the tub are just, like, really tiny towels. It's a very funny visual.
I can imagine she's one of those people that's like, no, you're not supposed to towel dry yourself. You're supposed to sit there and air dry because that keeps your skin nice. Like, she's definitely that kind of person.
Yeah, her 1 million year old skin. No, she's not that old, but she is extremely undead.
Yeah, she's a fucking vampire.
She's quite. They come up with a really good reason to explain why she's a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe vampires need moisturizer too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
vampires probably really need moisturizer.
Yeah.
But she takes care of herself.
Yeah, if you're gonna talk further, I will hop out then for a moment.
Well, before we go there, you got to talk about her daughters that she's with too.
Yeah,
you gotten to see them, John?
I've seen them. They're all over the place. They're real.
Her
real
thoughty little brats made of bugs.
Yeah, they're goopy and buggy and probably smell like fucking a reptile enclosure.
They're covered in blood.
Yeah.
So I had to learn two things about Resident Evil very quickly, and the hard way. One, you can take items out of other items. That took me like an hour to figure out.
Right.
And I was like, oh, right, this is Resident Evil. Of course. The second thing is, if an enemy is like impervious to damage, they ain't gonna tell you. You're just gonna have to use a bunch of bullets and figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's fights with these bug ladies where they're just like stalking you, and I'm like, okay, let's turn the tables on her. Let's do this. Let's get this done. I got my knife out, trying to do something.
Nope.
You gotta run away.
You gotta get away.
Mm-hmm.
I
felt like such a dope.
Can I combat you real quick on this, Solon?
Yeah.
In like the first fight with one of those bug ladies, like as soon as you shoot her, she goes, "Ha ha ha! Bullets do not work on me."
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what I would
this?
say if I were her and bullets hurt me? I would also say, "Ha ha ha! Bullets can't hurt me," because I'd be trying to trick you.
You
This
are
was my
you are
logic.
overthinking it. You need to not overthink it. It's fucking Resident Evil. You need to just this is lowest common denominator. You need to just be like, all right, when she says that the bullets don't work on her, that means the bullets don't work on her because the game wants me to know that bullets don't work on her.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't find the little hidey hole that you're supposed to duck out through, and so I ended up tangoing with her for like 2 or 3 deaths before I was like, oh, of course that's on me. It was just really funny how that came together. Bug ladies.
What was the overall vibe of Lady D's castle? Like from all of us who played it.
I like it. It's neat. It's a neat place, but I haven't seen all of it, so
Got it. You're still in there. You're in the weeds. I do like that the Duke, who is the merchant equivalent in this game, just has his own room that Lady Dimitrescu does just not go into at all. Like she gave the Duke his own space and is respecting it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you learn so much from that. Okay, I love Lady D's castle. It's an incredible tutorial of all the mechanics. Like I was talking about, like I had to learn the hard way about all this stuff. But having a safe room and like having to learn that there are safe rooms and that's a thing that can happen was like so enlightening for me. Just like, oh, okay, so these stalker characters have certain like paths they go to. They've got their areas and I can have my areas. And if I can have my areas, that means that I can experiment with going into other people's areas. It's so good. And the scene that, John, if you got dunked down into her like deeper dungeons, right?
Yeah, I just got down there, so I haven't really explored yet.
By her.
Yeah,
you got to see just how intimate Lady D gets with you.
She's very angry.
She strings you up by your hands, and like does this like stigmata stuff with you, where she like sucks the blood out of your holy hands, and there's the other scene where she like gets really pissed off and throws in her vanity, her gigantic crystalline glass vanity, across the entire room. And that was basically when I fell in love. I was lost to the sauce at that point.
She's strong.
Between really good level design and Lady D just being fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Here's my kind of overall take on the castle and Lady Dimitrescu is like, I thought it was really good. It's a really good intro. It definitely needed to be later in the game, cause like minor spoilers. As soon as you're done with the castle, you're done with like Lady Dimitrescu. Like she doesn't show up again after that. It's a very Resident Evil thing. Like you kill the boss and then the boss would be dead.
Well, yeah,
unless they become
your
a big
business
monster.
relationship with her is over, and she's moving on in her life. She's going to the Bahamas. It's
exactly.
fine.
She's going on a nice vacation. But it's the kind of thing where it's like they clearly like Lady Dimitrescu is probably the most interesting like character out of the main villains that they have. She's definitely like the most charismatic. Like Heisenberg is also like pretty interesting, but also he's like he's incredibly one-sided in a way that like Dimitrescu isn't, because Dimitrescu like doesn't really care about the ceremony that's going on at all. She just kind of cares about her own shit, and that's really interesting to me. Like the only reason like the reason she captures Ethan Winters in the first place is like Ethan Winters shows up in this village and she's like, Ethan Winters, that's really interesting. I want to fucking own this guy and maybe drink his blood because he's probably got special blood. And then she then, like, she does it and is less than pleased. But at that point, like, once you escape your initial encounter with her and you, like, start killing her daughters, like, at that point she is just fucking pissed at you and is just taking out her, like she goes through an emotional arc that the other characters in the game don't. And it's like,
Yep.
it's really interesting stuff. It's the kind of thing where it's like, I wish this game was paced better, because the castle's a really interesting location, and it has a whole bunch of really cool, like, interconnected spots that make it really fun to explore. And also, I think her as a pursuer, like, stalker enemy is not she's definitely not the most interesting they've had. Like Mr. X has a lot of like, Mr. X, like, literally chases you through the entire, like, building in 2.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Jack Baker, when you run into him in 7, is, like, he has a whole bunch of, like, weird, unique encounters, like, you don't get anywhere else. He's not exceptionally difficult to lose, and neither is, well, Mr. X kind of stays on your ass. It's the kind of thing where it's like, he's probably on you a little bit too much, and that's kind of what I didn't like about him. But, like, Lady Dimitrescu, like, her whole pattern seems to be, like, if she knows where you are, she's gonna surprise you, and then the way she surprises you are always, like, really good. It's like, here's this door I need to go through in order to progress, and then she comes out of that door and just pops out right in front of you, and it's like, yeah, all right, bye,
yeah.
out of here.
She's such a character about it.
Yeah, and she's
like,
she has to,
hates
like,
you. That she has finished her arc that she hates you, but not enough to be, like, in blind rage, and she has fun with it.
Yeah, like
she's like, you're boned now, dude.
She has to crawl through this door that's, like, half her size, but like, aside from that, it's like, once you lose her and once you have, like, the freedom to explore around the castle, she kind of gives up on chasing you, and she just goes back to the main hall, which is, like, it's like, it's like it's a little less interesting, because it's like, as soon as you know you're clear, and then you're not really worrying about her as much. Where, like, I feel like she could have been way more of an oppressive force through the castle. And maybe it's just because this is the first area in the game. Like, maybe if it was a later area, she could have been way more oppressive and way more interesting. But like I feel like what should have happened is the encounter where you get strung up by her, like, right in the beginning should have happened. You should have escaped, and then you should have, like, escaped the castle and then gone back to it later, like, after you've like, gotten guns and you, like, are ready to take her on. But
I can see that.
But it's like, this game feels like it had a lot of cut content and a lot of pacing issues. So at some point they definitely just needed to figure, like, let's just get this out the door. People want to see the big lady and her big butt. Like, let's just do it already.
I want to talk a little bit about what happens after there, but I do not want to talk more than, like, 4 or 5 minutes, like, very briefly.
So I will. I'm just gonna say, I think at this point, maybe you all should figure out doing a spoiler cast. I feel like that might be something that y'all should do.
Maybe we've been coming up with a lot of ideas, but, like, this was gonna be the Resident Evil episode.
I know, but like,
I'm leaving it all out in this review.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like y'all have enough to talk about that maybe a whole spoiler cast might be something. This is kind of
Probably
sounding like it. So, we've got a lot of other stuff we could talk about here. We've got a good amount of news and stuff. So I think maybe we should just move on here.
You don't want to hear about how I almost got scared at this game?
Yeah, I wanna at least talk about that a little bit.
All right.
We'll make it quick. And this is the section you're gonna disappear on, right, John?
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
We'll ping you.
Okay, John's gone. She turns into a fucking dragon. It's so hot. It's so hot.
It's
oh
so
my
fucking
fucking
sick,
god.
dude.
Elvie, I'm telling you, Elvie.
Yeah.
She turns into a
I'm
whole ass
aware.
dragon.
I'm aware.
It's so cool.
All of the Resident
You
Evil
can't
villains
you can't
become a
have her
big
at her
thing.
best if you can't have her at her worst. Or is the dragon the best side? I don't know. It's subjective.
It depends on what you're into. If anything, it kind of like is one of my biggest complaints about this game is like so Heisenberg and Lady Dimitrescu have like really interesting designs. Like Heisenberg is pretty much just a Bloodborne character. He's got like magnet power.
I was wondering what was
Like,
going
it's
on with
fucking-
that guy.
Yep.
He's like he's sick as hell.
You're right.
But like by the time you get into a fight with him, like he just turns into a big monster, and it's like I wanted to fight the Bloodborne man. I wanted to fight the Bloodborne man with the big hammer. Why can't I fight him? Why do I gotta fight Optimus Prime from Michael Bay Transformers?
Yeah, I did want to try to find a way to shoot my metal gun at him when he wasn't looking or something, you know?
Is there like a reason particularly why these characters in this game do that? Like, because
It's
my
it's a Resident Evil game. Every Resident Evil boss turns into a big
that
monster.
is correct. But because my impressions of this game, I don't know, there's something about it seems more magical and fantastical compared to the other ones in which there is like some sort of, quote unquote scientific, not really, it's just stretching science in a sense over like what is going on. And in this case, this game seems very inspired by more supernatural things, like stuff that's really beyond the paranormal in terms of like like vampires and like werewolves, which are inherently things that are a little harder to stretch in terms of like practical science in regards to explaining how that works. So I'm very curious as to like what is the justification here, if not just them accepting this is silly, this just happens, it is what it is.
It's
a lot of fun and pacing, especially, and that's what leads into the next section because they have this big monster fight.
Let me real quick comment on this. LV, it is so interesting that you say that this is way more fantastical because like throughout the game, like Chris refers to like the things that you're fighting as bioweapons, and maybe that's true when you're fighting like zombies that were manufactured by Umbrella, but that's like literally not the case with all of the enemies in this game. They have a completely different cause. The cause is extremely like natural in regards to like how they were made based on the world. There's like some scientific shit to it, but like they're just monsters.
Right.
Like they're just monsters. Like they're not bioweapons. They're just monsters. And
all right, so we've got 90 seconds, Scott.
This.
90 seconds of Feral left. We got to talk about this.
We got to talk about
next section that happens. So you go to the next Lord's house, Lord Beneviento, and it's this freaky dollhouse, and you know what you're getting into is like this freaky dollhouse, but it drops you. It takes all your weapons away. You get completely removed from all of the things that you just learned in the last dungeon, and you have to play their little Saw game.
Yes.
And as you're playing this Saw game, trying to escape from the like haunted house, a giant monster baby fetus comes out of nowhere and starts chasing you through this building. While you're going through this building, you solve as many puzzles as you can, but you have to like wait for a big ass elevator at the very end. And if the baby catches you, they'll just rip you apart.
The
lights are flashing. You can't see anything. The baby?
The baby is Ethan's insecurity as a parent.
It is!
Yes!
It so is!
They put you in a fucking escape room, Elvie. It rocks.
Love
They
symbolism.
put you in
Love anxieties of fatherhood.
The first thing you see is a mannequin of your dead wife.
Ooh.
And you have to dissect her in order to solve the puzzles.
Ooh.
It rocks. It's so good. And then you get chased by a big baby. Let me talk about what happened with me and this big baby. The big baby fucking is the most scariest shit in this game, and it's probably not real, is the thing. But we'll talk about that later, maybe in a spoiler cast. Anyways, what happens is I get chased by this big baby. I'm avoiding this big baby because I know how to avoid monsters in a Resident Evil game. I get to the point where I'm at the elevator. Like I have not seen the big baby clearly. I just know it's a big baby because it keeps going wah wah goo goo gaga in like big distorted voice.
Yeah, baby noises.
And I get to this elevator. I activate the circuit breaker. I hear the big goo goo gagas come in. The elevator slowly opens. I get inside as quickly as I can. I start to see the fleshy face of this big baby. I hit the close elevator button, and then what do I see? Like, literally trying to get on the elevator with me is this gigantic baby. Thankfully, the chain door closes just in time. And then, like, the fucking horrifying visual that I have is just this giant ass flesh monster with its huge mouth that is blubbering and flat, like its skin flaps going all over the place, just sucking on the chain link of this fucking elevator. And it is trying to get in there with me. And it is the scariest thing I have seen in a video game. It
is so frightening. Absolutely terrifying. Now, let me tell you my story, because none of that happened for me. Not a single bit of that happened for me, actually. The baby was supposed to be chasing you through this whole thing. Didn't happen. I went under the bed, and I was, like, waiting for this baby to come, and it was, like, taking forever, so I just made a sandwich. And maybe I'm just not the most observant person, but I just walked back to the circuit breaker, hit the button, the elevator came down. It was really calm, very relaxing. And then once I hit the button to the elevator, Ethan does the, like, blink thing that cues you, like, cutscene's happening. And the baby shows up anyway and does the, like, sucky thing. Like, I'm gonna get you. And so, by then, I am, like, one sandwich deep into what's supposed to be the scariest part of the game. And I'm just like, yeah. Hey, baby. How are you? I'm gonna go to the next level, but see you, baby. And so Scott is telling me how terrified he is, and I'm like, what?
That's extreme.
And everyone else I'm talking to is telling me they're terrified of this most horrifying section of this game. And I'm like, what? Should I have not made a sandwich?
That is extremely funny in terms of, like, understanding that this might be a psychological representation of what this character is feeling in terms of being a father and, like, how my understanding is, like, he's afraid of, like, the implications that his child is, like, fucked up like him because of, like, everything that has happened, right, to him and whatnot, and, like, it kind of passed on to her. It's interesting how your reactions kind of do correspond with actually I'm not psychoanalyst, I'm just saying this from my understanding of, like, anecdotes and, like, hearing other people's lived experiences of being fathers or parents in general, and, like, new parents, knowing a lot of people who are entering that stage in their life. And, like, it's just interesting how your reactions pretty much, like, exemplify, like, what the two reactions of being a new parent, like, is like anyway. In one being, one, it's scary, and two, it's like, you get used to it. Like, it was interesting. I was reading a book. I was reading a book, like, it was someone's memoir, and they were, like, writing this, like, fictionalized perspective of their father, and they were going into how their father was, like, terrified of how when she was a baby, her father was disgusted at her eating. Like her father was legit terrified about like looking at his child, like, and how a baby eats, because, babies are messy and they don't know what they're doing. They're just, like, putting whatever's in their mouth because they're hungry. But there was some sort of weird psychological thing going on there where her father was, like, just terrified and really disgusted by, like, her as a child, and unfortunately, it went into, like, all this other aspects in her life in which, why her mother ended up rearing her most of the time, essentially. But, like, that was just very interesting to me, where, like, there's just something weird about babies where it kind of triggers this. It triggers very different responses to people based on, like, your experiences. Like, despite the fact that, like, biologically, supposedly, humans have this, like, trigger in our minds being like, no, don't hurt the baby. Like, something, like, innately parental comes in over us when we see a baby. Because, again, like, something about, like, they look cute or whatever that, we kind of jump in to make sure they don't get hurt. But meanwhile, there's, like, all these other anxieties the moment you become a parent. And, like, I can easily see why someone's experience would feel, like, disgusted or nauseated over the idea of, like, oh my gosh, now I have to handle, like, this tiny humanoid thing. They're acting weird. They're not, like, acting like how an adult should. So that's kind of weird and scary to me. And, like, I'm definitely overanalyzing this.
That fatherhood is chaos.
Yeah, I'm definitely overanalyzing what the sequence was meant to be. But that kind of weirdly poetically goes along with that. It sounds like it does, like, define what those anxieties are exactly with how babies are and, like, how we respond to babies.
All right, I'm gonna bring John back in here so that he can help move us on. Or else we'll talk about this forever.
I just think it's so interesting that, like, the experiences that both me and Solon had, like, this
we're
game,
different.
like, it manages to facilitate both of those kinds of experiences, and like they're both valid.
John, welcome back. I'm sorry for keeping you out for so long. We went feral. It was extremely enlightening.
LV talked about parenthood woes. It's great.
Okay, let's move on, please.
Yes.
LV, you've been hanging out here for a while.
I've been hanging out.
Is there anything you'd like to discuss?
Yeah, so I've been, I kind of been like busy in a sense of like, oh wow, I don't have time to game. Oh no, it's not that big of a deal. But but as a result, like usually I kind of went back to my ways in terms of like terrible games. No, not terrible games, but more like games that kind of take low energy to do because of that, just to like for the sake of gaming, which
need me a game like that right now.
And those two genres being unfortunately for me, idle games, and not the idle games you're thinking of, not IDOL, but more like in those inactive like idle games where you set it and forget it, right?
For sure.
And I've been kind of going back on a couple of them. I've been specifically, I've been specifically like playing around with, what is the name? I forgot the name of it. This thing I'm not, what Legends of Ideon. I don't know how to pronounce it. Legends Ideon. It came out like last year on mobile, and now recently has a PC version. Has a version on you can play in browser and in Steam or like other platforms. And inherently, it boasts that it's the first idle MMO. And I don't know about that. I don't know about the claim. I'm sure there's been other equivalents of such a thing, but again, I think I mentioned and talked about my experiences with MMO in the past, in which I feel like I never really stick around, or my attention span with them like drifts away and before I can get back into them. And it's just something about me where MMOs are about like working together with people, and something like Final Fantasy would be not good for me because it seems like you actually do have to work with people. Which again is the point of these games. You're supposed to meet with people and engage with these communities. But weirdly enough, I enjoy MMOs for like the weird solo aspects to them, the weird single player aspects to them, where it's like, oh yeah, I like farming. I'm gonna make my character farm here for a bit. That's okay. And maybe once in a while I'll talk with some of the trade or something. But for the most part, in terms of like doing things like raids and whatnot, I don't really enjoy those aspects of MMOs. I kind of like the quality of life stuff with them. Yeah, and weirdly enough, Legends Ideon kind of does, I think, emphasize that single player experience for me, in which I can just go on and craft something and leave it be. But then meanwhile, if I'm waiting to craft something, waiting for like all those ores to like convert into like copper or whatever, I can just go on and fight some slimes. It's been weirdly a peaceful experience for me. It's something I can go in and out of, and like I don't have to leave the game on to do anything. I know it sounds really bad. It sounds weird. It sounds like I'm not really playing a game, which is yeah, which is the point of these things. It's like a weird. I think it reminds me a lot of MapleStory. It specifically reminds me a lot of MapleStory because it is a 2D side-scrolling kind of game where like you just go from map to map. That's just how they're all interconnected. Even the style of it kind of looks similar, but it just feels very much that way. And like recalling my time playing MapleStory, and like you reach a certain point before you start feeling like pressure to buy the premium stuff to just jump ahead, which very much was a thing with MapleStory even when I was playing it back then, before it even became more like cash shop dependent. Like you could just buy levels ahead, which was nuts. It just feels that way. It kind of removes that like effort, like, and when I mean to say like the wasteful parts of effort where you don't need to put effort. You know, like grinding is I
love idle games. They're not for me because I do need like a little more interactivity usually, but I love idle games. Just the ludic nature of it. What you are doing when you are playing them is, anytime that you don't have the idle game in front of you, you're thinking about what your next play is, so that when you do turn on the idle game, you can just do that and then set it down again.
Yeah, exactly. And
so all the gaming happens outside of when you have an app in front of you. It's amazing.
Right. And I think that like really connects back to the like interesting conversations and not like discourse around like auto playing features in like MMOs, like regular MMOs and whatnot, especially things like auto navigating. Like that alone is like a controversial like issue, which I think is interesting. You know, like Walker had a great piece, you know, that they wrote like a while ago talking about maps, right? And like how like unfortunately there seems to be this issue in games where they have like these huge open worlds, and like they like mentioned Assassin's Creed as an example where like we have this huge like open vast worlds that should be interesting, that should give you a reason to like walk through things and take your time to travel through them, but there's no real reason you should, because there actually legitimately is nothing, there's nothing in between like to them. It reminded me a lot of my experience with like playing specifically games like Elder Scrolls Online for like a hot minute, and like there is so much nothing in between those maps. There is so much nothing like in between going things, and it was especially like arduous because that was a game that scaled in difficulty, so it was very easy to go somewhere you're not supposed to go, and then you're like so far off the path of like what you were initially doing, it's just very difficult to go back to. I know like classic World of Warcraft was very notorious about this, where there's like I forgot the name of the quest, but specifically there was a very like specific quest where there's like an NPC that talks about like his wife being missed. I don't remember. Anyone who knows this like knows what I'm talking about. It's like a really funny, like popular weird documentary. He talks about his wife being missing, and I don't know if it's a real quest. Yeah. Yes, I think you know what I'm referring to. He talks about his wife being missing. And like you're supposed to find her, but like I don't know if it's a legitimate quest that registers in your log or not, or it's just some weird thing that he just refers to. But ultimately, someone eventually did find out, like, yeah, that is a thing you can find in a weird, like, indirect way, and like, but the game actually yeah. So compared to like what World of Warcraft is now in terms of the modern sense versus World of War Classic, when you do quests, there are no automatic map markers compared to like the experiences of doing quests in like a lot of other games. Like you really have to look at the coordinates of the map to figure out where to go and just actually like follow directions in terms of like landmarks and whatnot. So people were able to like pinpoint based on like what that NPC was saying as to like the hints as to where his wife went. And they found the specific coordinates where there appeared to be some sort of corpse. In that location or something. I forgot the name.
What?
Yeah, but I forgot the name specifically of what that quest is. Again, I don't know if it's a real quest, but it was a very interesting thing that
real.
Real.
I'm
so
sorry.
So like the game is implying no, she's dead. She is not going back to that man.
Oh.
I think, and I believe it's World of Warcraft Classic specifically, because like I said, that like playing between those two games like briefly, like that experience with the game is much different and is very dependent on needing to know where you are on the map. But I thought that was just interesting. Like it actually pays attention to the fact that like you're gonna have to pay attention to those little details as you go across, and the idea that you do need to actually physically travel through these like vast maps is significant. And that was like an interesting example where they actually did that, even though it's just like one in like a bigger scope of the game. I did not really, I did not again last long in either of those games in either version of World of Warcraft, but yeah, to my point, something like an idle game, like especially specifically like an idle game that's emulating an MMO experience, like removes like that obstacle where some stuff like that, like the tedium of exploring, where unfortunately like a lot of games I feel like don't have a justifiable reason for you to like really take your time to just like walk around and whatnot when there's nothing in there to suffice to do really. Especially with this,
I'm still losing it that you're playing this game called Legends of Idle On.
Yeah, Idle On.
Yeah, I'm looking this up.
Or Ideally On,
Which is such a good pun.
Yeah, it is a pretty good pun.
For Legends of Eidolon?
Yes. I believe so.
Which I only know because that's like one of the only words in the English dictionary that rhymes with my name Solon, and so
really?
I'm just losing it. This very layered phrasing on Idle On. So it's an MMO about they just want you to turn the idol on.
Yeah.
It's very funny. It makes perfect sense though, because when you're like doing crafting in MMOs, you're doing a lot of the gameplay part of it. Like when you're playing the game, it's mindless, but you're doing a lot of the thinking and the thought through it off of the game itself. Like figuring out your plans on where you're going to go, how you're going to get what you need, what you're going to craft, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so it makes sense to have that be an idle game. It's just a perfect blend.
Yeah. And like when you reach a certain point, you can make more characters, and you can have those characters stack in terms of like the tasks they're doing. So for instance, you can, when you have your first character, that should be like your main character that you should have like the most appropriate build. You really want them to be like the strongest in terms of like what you are aiming for. Like, do you want this character to be like a combat focused character, or like just specifically like a crafting or smithing focused character? But then like all the other characters you have on after, they're inherently going to be less powerful and like less, weighty compared to your first one. But they will benefit from the bonuses of your first character anyway. So it's very strategic to have them start stacking tasks, like while so what you can do is basically you swap between these characters.
Yeah.
Essentially. And simultaneously do different things. And like, timing out like, okay, this one character is going to take less time to smith out this ore. So meanwhile, I'm going to swap to another character and I'm going to focus on combat, but I'm going to be active there. I'm going to be like active, like doing combat, and that will be faster, right?
And then you balance everything
and then
out.
like if you're actually paying attention to the math, you're going to just be jumping between them. And then like, when you set and forget it, eventually, like, you're going to turn on the game again and be like, oh, okay, here are all the benefits I'm going to reap out of. Yeah, it's like a very fun experience in terms of like making yourself, churn up the strategy gears in your head over like planning. Basically, it's weird. It's like a planning game essentially. Yeah, and I don't know. I enjoyed it so far. And again, I've been playing other like idle games, just like testing the waters and whatnot. But otherwise, yeah, this felt like the most immersive experience thus far. And like how like classes work and whatnot, it's like just very rudimentary, and like it doesn't really. It's not complex at all, again, to the extent of like a bigger whole MMO where it's like, okay, yeah, there's skill trees and whatnot, etc. It's just very rudimentary.
That's how I feel like a lot of idle games are.
They can't really do
always
more than
kind of
that.
like ape a game that already exists. There's an idle game that I played that was a breakout clone, where they just, automate bricks being broken by orbs. Right. And that's the whole thing. John or Scott, did you all ever play any of those Pokemon idle games? There was like a couple of them, I think.
There were.
I don't think so.
No?
I'm not sure which ones you're like referring to specifically. Like,
isn't there like a Magikarp one or something?
Magikarp, Joe?
Yes.
That wasn't like an idle game.
That wasn't an idle game.
Yeah.
Oh.
It had more involvement than that. Yeah.
There are definitely like idle aspects to Pokemon. Like there was that like Pokeball you could get with like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and it's just like you just leave it in your pocket and you walk around, and then like you get a surfing Pikachu, maybe someday, because those are really rare.
I mean, things like the Pokewalker, I guess, like, back then when it was like more relevant, like it kind of does have idle aspects, but then, again, set it, forget it. But it still has a very active part in which you have to remember that it's on you, etc. I would say I think you're confusing Magikarp Jump in terms of like kind of like the issue with many mobile games. You kind of had like a limited amount of like things you can do, and then you run out of those turns, and then that's why you wait, and then have to actually actively log out, and then before you can play stuff again. Yeah.
The distinction of an idle game is that it is a game you can play while idling. Like you don't need to actually be there playing it. It'll play itself.
Right.
Okay, I didn't know what Jump was.
Yeah.
So that's on me.
It's a fun one, though.
I thought there was like a Pokemon game that was like that, and I figured someone might have touched that, but
it's been a very interesting. Like, my biggest qualm about this game is I'm being very cautious about it because it's mechanically fun, it's very good, but the humor is kind of awful. It's kind of god awful. There's elements to it that feel very Channer, like it's I'm like so I was trying to look up the developers. I was like, oh boy, I don't know, I was like I was trying to look at the developers. There's not a lot under it, and I'm like being, I'm snooping, but I think this is support. I don't want to support something that's like this is gonna, but so far it's not that bad, so far it's just, but it's just there's the air of it. Nothing offensive has been said. But just the quality of it, something about it is like, any minute now. So
something tripped you off
NPCs
enough where you started to realize, hey, I need to search the creators of this idle game that I'm playing.
Of all things to be
I
controversial.
better dive deeper into this idle game. I might be problematically idling as we speak.
Of all things to be controversial in idle game. No, yeah, like, cause, okay, so for instance, there is like, I mean, it's less Channer, but just really cringy, dated internet humor where it's like, why did they bother putting this in the game if they know? Like, constant self-deprecation. Like, there is the introduction to this game is like, you can skip this tutorial anytime, and it's a very long-minded tutorial. You kind of, again, you don't have to do it, but I just sat through it. But it's like, throughout the tutorial, it's like, this tutorial is cringy and badly written. You can skip it. Like, I kept doing that sort of thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why was? It was just that. It's just very jaded in like that old like internet sort of way. But there are elements too where it's like there are things like tokens you can collect. For instance, one of them is a Pepe, and it's like, okay,
Ooh.
you know, and it's like one of them is I don't have that, but it's just like that's that. But like I haven't seen anything else of like, you know, really bad offensive memes, right? You know, so far it's just I'm bound to see a lol cat at some point. But I'm like, what year was this made? This was made last year.
You haven't gotten a Wojak yet?
No, I've not seen that yet.
A soy jack, a girl jack, none of these.
No, none of those. I don't. But that's essentially. I feel like it's knowyourmeme.com surface level of like the stuff they're pulling from. Maybe again, so far nothing.
Oh man,
I can't
wait.
Rancid, but
Can't wait for the know your meme gotcha.
But that's what I mean.
I like this idea though, because if you try to like boycott or cancel the idle game, isn't that just exactly what they want you to do?
Right.
I will not play this idle game. Damn it! That's how they get me.
As we're speaking, I'm pretty sure I'm ranking up hours like beneficial to my account. So like I don't know what to do in that case when it goes down, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta take off. I don't want to be part of this. I have to keep playing it to go.
They hate that in idle games. They hate that when you play it consistently in an idle game.
For real.
That'll get them. No, thanks for that. I'm glad we got to talk idle games today. That was fun.
If you look at my Steam page, I honestly do have a shameful amount of hours into those Sakura games, which which I've not touched. I assure you, I was very dignified in my palette of like explore new idle games and not those things. I don't even know if that series has new games around, but that's another thing. And so as far as I know, like those games have definitely set a precedent in terms of like the weird saturation of like softcore hentai Steam games where they're just all using the same template of like putting the game out there for the sake of it. It's very interesting, but that's kind of my black spot in my gaming record. I have played those. Too many hours of those of not playing technically.
Listen, we all have phone games that we're extremely regretful of playing.
Dragalia treating you good still, Scott?
I haven't played it in months.
Wow.
Oh, no, not months. I would say more like weeks. I've been playing War of the Visions again.
No.
They've added some quality of life stuff, but it's still like largely the same. Here's what's been happening is they had a Nier Automata event, and I got 2B, and I got 9S also, but like okay, all right. Here's the thing about this game and why it's a problem. One, there is an upgrade material called character shards. You get shards at an extremely low frequency. Like some of the only guaranteed ways to get shards for some characters are going on quests for them that you can only do twice a day that you get one of per quest. And
so they've got you on a very specific drip feed.
And you need hundreds of these shards. So
God.
So for 2B and 9S, there are like a couple of ways to expedite it. There were shards that were purchasable with the funny money in the game. Didn't spend real money on buying shards. I just used like earned currency to do it. That was the main way I got both of them maxed out. I got both of them maxed out on shards, which is good. But turns out there's another tier above the maxed out tier, which is like a newer thing they added in the time I stopped playing called EX jobs, and you get an EX job by the main thing that you need for EX jobs are things called mind spheres. And you get mind spheres by getting duplicates of shards. And 2B and 9S are the rarest tier of character. And, like, there are a couple, like, assorted ways to get them, to get shards now. Like, I can go on Chocobo expeditions, and that will, like, randomly get me shards for each character. I can, a newer thing they added is in your guild, you have to be in a guild. First and foremost, I started my own guild. No one has joined me. If anyone wants to join Dilbert Club, please at me on Twitter. I will let you join. Please, I need people in here so badly.
Final Fantasy Dilbert Club.
But in your guild, you have barracks, and in your barracks, you have like a place where you can put adventurers, and you can either get job points for them, which are good for unlocking abilities, or if you don't need job points, you can have them earn shards over time. And those shards, and for the tier of rarity, the ultra rare that both 2B and 9S are, it takes 12 hours to generate one shard. And
Lord.
And thankfully,
that sounds like hell, Scott. That sounds awful.
Thankfully,
for your little 2B, avatar sprite.
Thankfully, for crossover characters, you don't need specific mind spheres for characters. With other characters, like, you just have character-specific mind spheres. For crossover characters, you get crossover-specific ones. So instead of having a 2B mind sphere, I get a near mind sphere instead.
Why does this sound more complex than it needs to be?
A mind sphere gets generated
Scott.
every single time you get an ultra rare token for one of those characters.
I'm so lost, Scott.
I know. I'm. That's the point.
No,
this
your point is very proven.
This is the shit I'm putting up with.
Hey, I'm not actually putting up with any shit. Did you know that I'm 1 week sober from Picross?
Oh, that rocks.
I have not played a Picross in 1 week, and I'm very proud.
Well, good for you.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with those games in particular. That's very different from, say, like a gacha game where...
You'd think. Uh-huh. No, yeah. It doesn't have any of that, like, manipulative juice inside of it that makes you want to, like, crave it and play it more. It's just very nice and calm.
This event ends in 4 days. After that, I will not have any other
there's
ways.
An end to it?
I will not have any other ways to get shards for 2B or 9S other than the guild.
Scott, that's like an aggressive relationship that this game has with its players.
Aggressive sounds toxic.
Yeah. It is the dirt worst, and I hate that I like this game enough to actually continue playing it and put up with this shit.
It's tactics, I get it. It's really... I know.
It's 2B. I got 2B, y'all.
In Final Fantasy Tactics, it's so good.
She does, like, cool, sick moves.
I bet. I'm sorry they did that to you, Scott. That's not okay.
Yeah, it's not okay. They shouldn't have made me play this game.
John, have you been playing any, phone games, gacha games, anything like that?
I don't want to talk about it. Let's just go to news. I don't want to...
No!
Let's see. There is the Discord redesign that people seem to be very angry about. I haven't really been paying attention to angry. That. Elvie, you seem to have, like, opinions about that, though.
I do. I do have very strong opinions about it. So one...
Please fill us in.
Basically, we kind of seen hints of this already, like, around last year, especially at the height of pandemic. Like, the usership for Discord has, like, went up exponentially. Like, just huge. In terms of, like, every chat service ever, like, every video conference service, like, Zoom, Slack, whatnot. Everyone's starting to use them on blast. If not, like, now sticking onto them even past, like, this situation here on out. Like, Discord's, like, user base has, like, shot up. It's also their birthday.
I heard my middle schoolers today. Yeah. Today, my middle schoolers had a little falling out. I just heard in the hallway two people like talking with each other about how could you have left her Discord?
Oh my gosh, Discord's
and why did you
Discord
leave?
actually causing Discord. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but on that, it is their birthday. They are a whole child now. Or as they would call it, Blurp Day. Terrible. Yeah, we as I was saying, we've seen hints of this already. They were planning on redesigning and like kind of changing up their audience from more of like, you know, like more of a gamer, you know, like a gamer base as like what they, you know, usually are marketed towards, because, you know, that's the whole point, you know, for streaming, for like talking to each other while gaming. And now they're kind of like embracing a more general audience, you know, like things like, especially like, you know, someone speaking of like, you know, your school kids, student groups, especially like student groups like, oh, you can do your club here, or, you know, you can host a club here and you know, and hang out, like, especially for like a younger base of people, like the Zoomers, essentially. They really want to ramp up like a little more, like they kind of want to revamp their face in terms of being something less about for gamers, but more for everyone. And so they kind of, and it's been their birthday. They're now a child. They're a whole child. They're a whole child. And yeah, they done things like redesign. They changed up their palette. They admitted this whole time our logo was asymmetrical, which is kind of fucked up. Like, how did you get away with that? And unfortunately, when you do that, when you register a logo, you're just stuck with it for a while. So that was on them. So now they made the game controller Clyde. Its name is Clyde. Symmetrical. It has a name, as they explained. Mm-hmm. They literally said no one knows what its name is, and we felt sad about it. So now we're gonna make that clear.
Of course, fine.
And
it looks like Mickey Mouse pants.
Yeah. It looks like a Mickey Mouse.
Not gonna unsee this.
And yeah, they made it. I don't know. At least to me, they made it a little broader. It's no longer, you know, like, it doesn't have like dainty corners as it used to. But the biggest thing really is that they decided to now go for a more saturated color palette. So it's less about the grays, but now we have like these bright greens and bright pinks. And specifically, they changed their like signature purple to be less pastel-like and more saturated, like a little brighter. But the worst offense, in my opinion, is their typeface. Their typeface looks really bad. So this is a little hard to describe.
They squished it.
But you have to kind of look it up. And if you see it, you see it. They do have like a blog development post where they go into like their design perspective on it. It's very interesting to read, especially if you're someone who's into design, about like their philosophy behind it. But I think it looks bad. I don't know. It looks a little weird. And on my end, the interface hasn't really updated for me. I don't know if that's just my thing, but I don't think they 100% rolled it out on everything. Like, I still see the original logo, which again, it does not look much different compared to the old one. They just changed it up so it's now symmetrical.
Yeah, I can't. There's no way I could possibly tell.
Yeah, and I still see the original typeface where it's all caps. You know, like it's the Discord just yelling at you. I do not see what is now basically a lowercase word face, but it has certainly made people upset, and understandably so. I think a lot of people are, you know, for one, my opinion, one side, like someone like me, they think aspects of it is ugly. Like, they think it's terrible, it looks terrible. I get that. I totally agree. Like, some part, like the typeface looks bad to me. It looks strange and weird and amateurish, in my opinion. But I think everything else is okay. Like, the colors are fine, whatever. But I think there's also an honest, like, upset on the other side of things where people are generally upset that Discord is now trying to be catered to, like, everyone. I think there is a genuine upset that Discord is now no longer as not exclusive per se. That's not the right word, but like, it's not special anymore. It's now like trying to be synonymous with like a lot of other chat and video services. And I can kind of get why there's an upset over that. I like if like there's been a lot of like rebrandings to across the spectrum too, with a lot of other things like Google, for instance, and like the biggest complaint with that is that like it's just boring to look at, you know. And I get like, and it seems like very minute to care about, but like literally, from a practical perspective, if you're someone who uses all that stuff, all the logos look the same and it blurs in your head, and it's very bad to like, I don't know, it's just very bad and like impractical to deal with, because then you're gonna accidentally click on something that's not what you wanted to click on because everything looks the damn same, right? And yeah, that's what the divide seems to be. But what's really funny to me is that, so Discord also has this mascot character, the Wampus, which is this marsupial creature, which again, it hasn't really popped up in many things besides like, if you've seen the idle screens for Discord, like, oh, nothing's happening. You see the little Wampus creature sleeping. It looks like a wombat, basically. It looks like a wombat. So I'm convinced it's a marsupial of some part.
Exactly.
Again, it's apparently distinct from Clyde, the logo. I always thought the Wampus nose was that logo. Like that's what I thought that connection was, but
it wasn't.
No, it wasn't
okay,
that.
I thought
They're two
that was
different
too.
characters, apparently.
Hmm.
But what's really funny to me is that the people really upset about this, like, have made it, like, there's a lot of hashtags. Like, this always happens. People make a lot of silly hashtags whenever, like, Discord causing Discord. Whenever stuff like this happens.
Yep.
And one of the hashtags is like bring back Wampus, and I'm like, what? They didn't say they were getting rid of him in this, like, I don't know. I don't know if I missed that completely, because again, reading the like update post and whatnot, it didn't say they were getting rid of the Wampus. So in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, did they like kill off the Wampus secretly? Like, was there a secret execution of the Wampus? What happened to the Wampus?
What? They took the Wampus to a black site and we never saw them again.
Like I was saying, if it's a marsupial, is this an endangered creature? That is really fucked up. So I don't know what people are implying about the Wampus being gone. I don't think that's what's happening here. I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing in between the lines, but people are thinking the Wampus is going to retire. Or again, like I said, they secretly executed the Wampus and caged it away to never be seen again. But the Wampus might have been executed. That's the Discord update. So
yeah, I understand there being a fear about professionalizing Discord when this is the place that I go to for fun.
Sure. And we already had
hanging out with friends and social stuff.
Right. And we already have like those threats of Discord being bought out, and who knows? Like, we're gonna hear more of that like coming along, like the corporatization of Discord, right?
Yeah.
That's still something that's definitely like a fear and potential thing that's gonna happen in the future, in regards to like them probably going public or whatnot, etc. I don't know if that happened yet. Maybe it did, whatever. But yeah, I totally understand the upset. I at least agree specifically on the aesthetic upset.
The thing to me is that, like, for the logo redesign that they did and for like the new typeface and everything, it really feels like the kind of thing where they like they had a million boardroom meetings. They had like a million fucking like they had like a ton of different designers and like a bunch of different stakeholders who all had like different opinions of what exactly this thing should be, until it just came out as like essentially the same logo and some different typeface. And then they put out this statement, and like I imagine on their end it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like, this was something everyone in the company was talking about, and nobody could possibly give a shit about this.
Right.
Like I've been in those situations before. I get it, but it's like, guys, you really didn't need to like do an entire like an entire update about this. It's fine. Like, people redesign all the time.
My another thing that like is weird to me is that they mention in the update too, saying like, we like surveyed 20,000+ users over these decisions. I'm like, who did you survey? Where was this questionnaire? Like, who in the world did you? The same thing happened with Patreon. Patreon's been in a lot of heat, like, over some strange decision making, like, that screws over creators, which includes us. I need to mention that we do use Patreon. And like the weird percentage cut, taxation and whatnot, like the cutaways that would actually affect like how patrons like donate, and like it's going to be less than what, and they also were like, yeah, we surveyed a bunch of like big creators, like, and I'm like, no, you didn't. Who are you talking about? What email was sent out that like specifically said we need your, like, I highly doubt it. Like I agree with you, Scott. It's definitely been like stakeholders and like other people behind the scenes, and not necessarily the community that has said this, or anything about it. I don't think anyone knew about this.
All right. Let's see. Y'all know Zombies Ate My Neighbors?
Kinda?
That game?
Old game?
Yeah, well...
NES?
Super Nintendo. And Genesis?
Super Nintendo, okay. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So, .emu is re-releasing the original Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and also it's a shitty spiritual sequel. I think it's like Ghoul Patrol or some shit. I don't remember, but no, that game's bad. You just want to play Zombies Ate My Neighbors. But yeah, that's coming back. I guess they're gonna do some sort of limited run for the physical version, but it's also gonna be, digital on like everything. Your PC, your Switch, your Xboxes, and PlayStations. So I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of the news that they're re-releasing that.
Yeah, .emu. That's the Streets of Rage people.
Yeah, I mean,
that sounds really familiar.
They do a lot of like just straight port jobs, but they also help make new games too. Yeah, they helped with Streets of Rage 4, and they're also I think publishing the new Windjammers.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's really cool. That's cool that they're still doing stuff like that.
Yeah. So something that is currently affecting me is the fucked
What's
up
in the news for John?
the fucked up stuff that's going on with trading cards right now.
Oh no.
Oh no. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So trading cards.
Oh shit.
If you've been aware of how things have been going at all lately, you will know that Pokemon cards have become a huge fad again. So much so that it is impossible to buy them. And because of that, because of how insane people have been, Target and Walmart have announced that they are no longer selling Pokemon cards, or sports cards, I guess, are also the same thing is happening. I don't know if they're also going to be canceling like Yu-Gi-Oh! And or Magic as well, because
probably not.
Yeah, I mean Magic isn't. Real. I mean, like Yu-Gi-Oh's kind of selling out, but Magic is all over the place. Nobody cares about Magic like that.
Well, yeah.
Magic is kind of a different beast in that, like, the reason why everyone's going crazy about these cards is that they want to, pull a rare card. But with Magic recently, instead of putting the rare cards in their packs, they've mostly just been doing their secret lairs, which are just like pre-order special edition things that you can buy directly from them that are expensive, and all the money goes only to Wizards instead of, I bought a $3 card and then I can resell it for, $600. Instead now
they also don't historically have like a ton of like extremely super rare like limited print cards that like every collector would want to get. Like obviously there's some examples like the Black Lotus or whatever, but like that shit is so old and already held by pretty much any collector that's gonna hold on to it, that like there's no aftermarket. Like the deal with Magic is they release stuff in sets. They make certain sets like available. They make certain sets like the last 5 sets or whatever. It's definitely more than that, but it's like the last few sets they released are the ones that are viable in tournament play.
Yeah, they have rotation.
Yeah, and as a result of that, like they often wind up reprinting cards. So like there's not a need for really old cards in the way like Pokemon or like Yu-Gi-Oh or like sports card like
so
Pokemon
does have rotation. Pokemon does have rotation as well. That's the thing. It's just people will always be hyped for Pokemon because Pokemon will always print Pokemon, and there is always going to be some sort of rare Pokemon. 90% of the time it's a Charizard that people are going to mass open packs to try to find. It is Charizard's fault. It is because people are obsessed with Charizard that this is happening. It is legitimately Charizard's fault. Like if the Pokemon Company straight up announced, hey, in the next set there will not be a Charizard card, it straight up might relax things for a while. Like they
actually been putting Charizard cards out with every Pokemon set?
It's not
like, since the beginning?
It's not every single Pokemon set, but dear God, does it feel like it. It is very close to every set. Yeah. There is
So there's just like tons of different types of rare Charizards.
yeah.
Because they keep trying to go for that one magic moment again with the same
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But also there's been like a really weird aftermarket with Pokemon cards. Like the thing with the big thing is like since COVID started, like people have been like stuck indoors and they've been trying to think like, what stuff I have that might be valuable, and it's like they'll go through their old Pokemon sets and be like, wow, this is a card that's actually worth some money. I'll go send it to get graded so I can like see how much money I make off of this. And like the grading companies have just been so fucking overwhelmed with demand that they've pretty much ceased orders entirely. It is an absurd amount of demand for companies that like never had like just don't have the infrastructure to deal with this. So
that is what I look at as like the thing that activated specifically the things around sports and Pokemon cards.
Right.
But I don't think it's the machine behind it. And when it comes to like a speculative market like this, I think the thing that it relates to the most is like scalpers for event tickets, or even scalpers for like the consoles when they were coming out, and graphics cards and stuff like that. But the biggest difference that I think is fascinating here is, one, sports cards and Pokemon cards are trivial in the fact that they're for trading and playing. This is not something that's gonna like run your computer like a graphics card, or it's not a big box expensive item. It's cheap and it's very small, so it's very easy for a single person to wipe out an entire department store of their stock, because you could just throw them in the back of your car, and now you've got $2,000 worth of trading cards that are yours and no one else's. It's such a weird like situation, and I'm wondering when this is going to come to a head where if Charizard is going to be the thing that precipitates stopping scalpers in a like government kind of sense, because it's happening with Pokemon cards and sports cards, but what could people scalp next that would have the same kind of speculative appeal? And like at some point something's got to break, right? Something that matters more than Pokemon and sports cards.
Is the thing.
What do you think?
It is extremely breaking right now. Like this industry is fucking broken. Like people are now selling non-graded cards for however fucking much they want, and are hoping that they'll get any money from it whatsoever. You can't, like the news story that John was talking about is like Walmart and Target are no longer selling these cards. It's like that's bad for the industry. Like the fact that it is getting so bad that people are becoming violent over these things is a real breaking point. And it's something that's like you sort of need to address like why exactly this is happening, how you if you're a distributor can or cannot curb this, and how maybe you as a person who's at home just looking at your collection being like, oh, maybe I can make some money off this, can like maybe just hold off. Like
it does cause a chain
take
effect.
some time. Yeah. Everything is like sort of compounding right now. It's honestly, when all is said and done, we're probably gonna see the prices on a lot of stuff drop, or they'll solidify. I don't know if anything will get more expensive than it is right now. But like,
sure, a bubble is building. I'm actually just wondering from outside in if the industry can do anything to leverage Target and Walmart not being able to sell product that they definitely would love to sell, if they can leverage that into something bigger,
Like, what do you mean?
Like, in so much that if you could have some kind of, what's the word? Where they can talk to the government about,
like a subsidy or something?
I don't know what it would be, but some kind of government intervention, some kind of intervention on markets like this, where people are taking.
Biden's gonna come in and buy all the Charizards.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's not exactly what I'm saying. But I mean that if people are just taking stuff out of brick and mortar stores and selling them online for more expensive, that's a problem.
I guess.
And I'm wondering if Target and Walmart can leverage that in some way.
Well,
no, please.
Well, I was gonna say the utter weird of this is that you have to consider it's not just like Target and Walmart. Like when they say things like we're not gonna carry these cards anymore, that means they're outright just not gonna order the demand for them anymore. Right. And there's an aspect, and something like Walmart too. Walmart kind of acts like a drop shipper to things as well. There's like a whole chain there behind it, not just being Walmart. Like when Walmart says like we don't carry this anymore, they possibly were supplying some other business actually with that stuff. That's something you have to consider. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the big thing about Target and Walmart is like they're selling packs.
Right.
Like they're selling randomized stuff. If you're a mom and pop, if you're like your own trading card shop,
how are they doing?
You're not making money off of randomized stuff. You're selling cards.
I mean,
like you're
that's
selling
not
the
true.
cards themselves wholesale.
That's not true.
Yeah, John, what do you think?
Mom and pop shops absolutely sell packs and all of that.
Yeah, of course.
They absolutely.
A lot of the money is also in like selling individual cards, which a Target or a Walmart cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only point I'm trying to make.
What do you think, John?
Nothing. That's it.
That's okay. That's okay. It's fascinating. I'm excited to see what happens next with this. It's not something I'm necessarily a part of, but it's very weird, I think.
Yeah, it's the benefit with being a smaller shop is like you can identify which packs are going to like shoot up in value depending on like what cards are available in them, and then you can just price them higher. And like,
which fucking sucks for normal people who just want to play casually and like kids. I feel awful for kids.
Ooh. Yeah, it's just another huge example of like adults ruining things that should have not been a big deal. I don't know. I had a weird thought in my mind saying this is not going to happen to Funko Pops, is it? I don't see that happening to those.
No, because Funko Pops are inherently valueless.
I fucking wish it happened to Funko Pop so I could go out and buy cards that I want to actually play with, and so I don't have to worry about it.
Divert that.
I've been trying to get into the fucking Digimon card game, and like, look, I kind of get it because they probably underprinted it a bit because they didn't think it was going to be that big of a success because the past like 3 Digimon card games all flopped. But this one's like a well-made game and I wanted to get in on it. But people are going fucking crazy with trading cards and they have sold out everything. And if I want to buy one structure deck, which they're normally supposed to be $10, if I want to buy one structure deck, you need to buy 2, it's $30. So I have to drop $60 to get the 2 structure decks that I need to start making a deck. Not make the deck, to start making a deck.
Oh, I would love to see you cracking some Digimon packs, John.
I can't. I can't, because if you want to buy a box, I went halvesies on a box of Digimon cards with a friend. It was $180 because I got a deal on it.
Whoa. Terrible.
So I had to drop $90 for half a pack. Or half a box. It's infuriating. It's infuriating.
What a dire...
Like at the very least, Yu-Gi-Oh is somewhat reasonable. The only thing that like went kind of crazy in price was the new set that had Ghost Rares because they did have a very expensive Dark Magician in it, which ties to nostalgia and adults ruining everything. But like, the good news with that
but also it's a first print of a really cool looking card.
At the end of the day, though, the good news, though, is that the only things in that set that ended up being expensive were the very, very high rarity reprint cards, and then everything else in that set is cheap because everyone just wants to get rid of their bulk that they bought, trying to pull the Dark Magician or the Blue Eyes Alternative or whatever. So it's frustrating, but God, I hope they fix the Digimon card game most of all. Like, at least with Yu-Gi-Oh, like, it's not that big of a deal. I can actually go out and buy some of the new set because it's not that big of a deal. Nobody's like beating the shit out of each other over Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Mm-hmm. But
on top of that, Yu-Gi-Oh has a very popular a very popular like fan-made client that is like constantly updating, so that you can just like, if you just want to play Yu-Gi-Oh online, you can just play it. Like,
I mean, so does Pokemon.
Yeah, but Pokemon is the Pokemon one's not fan made. That's like licensed, right?
Yeah, but like still, you know, it's just there are ways to play those games in quote unquote official or unofficial ways or whatever. But it's just
what I'm saying is like there's nothing like that for the Digimon one. Like I saw you and other people playing it on like Tabletop Simulator, which is, you know, definitely a way to play it. Like it's not viable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not a dedicated sim specifically for playing this kind of game that's like really easy to get into.
Yeah, and like
I'm trying to imagine, on top of that, you need to learn the mechanics of Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah, and like
I'm trying to imagine Konami or Bandai Namco. I'm trying to imagine them making a video game. I just can't. That doesn't sound right.
Bandai Namco is constantly making games. What are you talking about, Solon?
It'll happen. It'll happen.
I don't know. I like to play physical. I like to go to a shop and play games. And
fun.
like I'm going to be fully vaccinated in like a week, and I would like to go play some cards. And you know, I do have a Yu-Gi-Oh deck ready at the very least, but like Digimon, I still can't. Because I don't want to drop $300 fucking to get a deck.
All of this like reminds me of how they tried to do all of this digitally with Artifact, and it just pisses me off.
Oh god, with Valve and doing the card game,
and
that's done now.
They're just trying to create scarcity for like digital items. It's a digital thing. You can make it as many times as you want.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm really sorry about your cards, John. That sucks.
I'm mad.
Yeah, big mad.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the last thing here, there was the Final Fantasy fuck fest. I don't know shit about that. Please,
I'm pretty sure you described it perfectly. That's probably what that is.
Here's what I know. They made Reaper, which is a Bloodborne. It looks like a Bloodborne thing. That's the new class.
Oh no!
And you get a cool scythe, and it looks neat. And then they also added bunny boys. You can be a bunny boy.
Finally,
now. Those are the two things I know.
Okay.
Oh, you're taking all my fun away. I was gonna. All right, it's fine.
What else is going on with this, Solon? Is it anything that we can like understand, or I mean,
to us non-FF heads?
Okay, so what's going on with the Fan Fest? It's going to go on for the next 2 days, so we're gonna have more news on this next week. I won't have to go over it too hard, but they're adding a new DPS class. It's called the Reaper, and it's a big old scythe fella with a ghost.
The Bloodborne.
They have a ghost that helps them attack stuff. And so I'm really excited and happy about that. It finally got another maiming class, which was a hole that needed filling really badly. And so after this, it really feels like all of our holes that we've needed are filled. This is the end walker. This is the final expansion of the final bit of Final Fantasy XIV. And so while we're saying goodbye to that, we're also filling a whole bunch of other holes that were desperately in need of filling, like having Viera have a male version, which is mind-blowing for any Final Fantasy XII fans, because there's never been a male Viera in any of these, in any way whatsoever, and also female Hrothgar, which is desperately needed.
That race had no women equivalent? That's insane. I thought that did.
No,
a lot of those like
gender specific.
A lot of those specific fantasy races are just like gender specific, which it seems like they've been taking steps to not do as much of.
No, well, the whole thing was that they, made the Viera and they made the Hrothgar to be male and female pseudo equivalents.
Right.
But now they're finally fixing the problem that's now we have enough time and resources to put male and females of the opposite versions back together. So it was this really nice thing that everyone can now celebrate. And we're all just kind of hoping that Viera males get to be the short ones. Because
that makes the most sense.
The thing about Final Fantasy XIV and their male and female versions is that there is what's the word?
Dimorphism. Dimorphism.
That's the one.
But from my observation, it's always been the girl is tiny and she just looks like the human with ears.
Bingo.
But the guys actually look different and distinct, and that's upsetting.
Make Lady Hrothgar giant, bigger.
Yeah.
So, just a lot of fun stuff in there. There's a bunch of new areas that they also dropped because they're talking about the new region that they're putting in, and so they've got trailers up for like a bunch of different spaces that we're going to be hanging out in, including the new player hub, which is Old Charlene. We're going to the moon. It's going to be a whole thing, and we're going to know more news over the next 2 days. But it was very neat and nice seeing Yoshi P, the creator, in his big Bloodborne outfit, because he's so excited about this Reaper.
I did have to hold up the podcast because I did see a screenshot of someone's Reaper, and I did have to make a meme real quick.
I understand it now.
Scott, don't talk about a visual thing on an audio podcast.
I can tell you the link of exactly how to go find it.
That'll be at the end of the podcast. Anyway, that's the Final Fantasy XIV update. We'll have more coming up, but I'm really excited for it.
Okay. This podcast has gone on for quite a while. Let's just do like 2 questions, okay? If you want to send in questions, go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. I don't know what to pick. Shulis asks, what's next for moms in gaming? Pretty open-ended question, but you know.
Moms in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So
We've got all these dads like
You're
Ethan
right.
in gaming. I think moms need to get terrorized by... Oh, wait, I can't talk about that. Ooh. They should get terrorized, I guess, next. That's what's next for
Yeah,
moms
we have to
in gaming.
terrorize all the moms is what we gotta do. No, but I think you're right. There's been like an ongoing datification of protagonists in video games. With Resident Evil 8 is extremely a game that has along those same lines, and it's like, when are we gonna get a freaking mom in here? Like, when are we just gonna get a mom who just loves her children? She loves her partner, and she is just gonna go kill a million zombies just for fun. And
Yeah, like what problems in the world can be solved if you give a mom an assault rifle?
Exactly. Well, ooh.
Like, be like, oh, there's aliens here, and mom, you're the only one who can help us.
I mean, I think that's what the movie's called, Aliens.
Oh, you're right.
Give a mom a gun, it's aliens.
Yep.
I know.
That's
Rose
true.
wrote basically 2 pieces on this, which is pretty much encompassed by both her our universal disdain for The Last of Us Part 2. And I forgot the title of the other one, but in which she kind of explores this idea that unfortunately, like, a lot of women protagonists seem to be, unfortunately, like, their arcs are still like overshadowed by a dad character or like a man, unfortunately. And like those, I think I would refer to reading those 2 together because it's very interesting how it does agree with the issue where there's this like dadification in games, but we don't really see the feminine perspective in terms of like the parent guardian experience. So I it's just as simple as swapping that identity. It's not hard. It's the same thing, right? Like why can't we see like a lady protecting her son or something like that, or like
or just have more women in
Exactly.
games that don't necessarily need to be tied to the family
Right,
role
exactly.
or tied to the mother role,
Right.
because that's like the big problem with a lot of representation is like a lot of women are just in extremely traditional women
Right.
roles, and it's like I would like a mom that does like non-momly things,
For sure.
or like a mom that is a good mother while at the same time also knows at least 3 different forms of martial arts and is in like a combat tournament or something, like
When can I get a mom that really loves her husband and wants to save her husband from
and
Gel
also
monster.
needs to solve a million puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the fascination with the dad character very much is like indirectly responding to that sexism pretty much too, but in a weird way that's still like feeding into it because it's just showing mostly male perspectives, right? But
right.
it's
Like
it's romanticizing a good man, quote unquote. Like, okay, here's
Right.
here's a guy who's not an absent fodder. Here's a guy who actually cares about his family. Here's a guy who actually has some sort of moral code and is like maybe also hot, depending how you look at him, and also is good at like combat and fighting and like all those like romanticized qualities of what a quote unquote good man is, which is a void that I know some people are trying to fill in regards to against quote unquote bad men. But yeah, like I said, like that I think that's a valid response, but as a result, it does end up taking up the space where it would be helpful to have like more female roles like at the forefront with those similar experiences.
Yeah. And I'm being a little heteronormative and reductive
Right.
about, like, you know, what a mom's
For
role
sure.
is, but there's so
A
many
dad
places
can be
you
a
can
mom,
play
a
with
mom can be a
this
dad, vice
space.
versa. At the end of the day, you can just be a
Yeah.
parent. Yeah.
we need more gaslight gatekeep girl boss main characters.
What's our other question, John?
Let's
You got a
see.
bunch.
I know, but I only want to do 2 because this has gone on long enough.
We can go forever. Who cares?
Anonymous asks, I know a gamer's podcast is not the best place for fitness advice, but treadmill or stationary bike, which would you recommend? I mean,
Ooh.
Bike, easier to game on.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming this person needs advice on that because they can only be indoors. I'm not going to be like an asshole and say just walk outside, it's better for you. That's not the right piece of advice. I don't know. From my experience, I feel like again, I'm not coming from like medical or fitness advice, but I feel like the treadmill is a little more effective if that's what you're looking for. I don't know. Maybe because my experience with a bike is like I don't feel like anything's happening. But again, I could be wrong. But I agree because of that. You can multitask more with a bike. You can watch things compared to a treadmill where you're standing. I feel like if you watch something while doing a treadmill, unless you're like watching a video to follow the treadmill exercise or whatever, like an instruction, it can be distracting, and then you might just trip by accident. You don't want that, especially if the treadmill's like on it. You put the treadmill on like a fast speed. Yeah, on the bike you're sitting, so it's not that like tricky to balance.
You definitely hurt your legs though.
Oh, sure.
I've got weird like fears and hang-ups around treadmills and stationary bikes because they're big, they take up a lot of space, and I just like I can really just kind of do one thing with them, which is tricky to like fit into my lifestyle. But last week I got some stretchy bands, and I've been doing some stretchy band stuff. They're really fun. Resistance bands. Those are fun to play with.
Definitely fun.
Yeah. I was a treadmill person for a while, but I've recently just been walking outside. But
You ever get to do like the uphill bit or the downhill bit?
Yeah,
where you have like the treadmill at an angle.
That shit's rough.
It sounds fun.
It's tough. But yeah, I mean, I might go back to treadmill now that I'm vaccinated. Like the reason why I wasn't was because I didn't want to like be near people while you know doing that. But you know, it's really, I think, personal preference. You know, I would say just try both, and whichever one makes you feel a little bit better after you're done. You know, because I mean, it's gonna be rough at first. You gotta, you know, working out's tough. It's fucking hard, but you know, do the thing that. I guess the real answer is do the thing that will keep you going more. Because as long as you're doing something, it's better than not doing something. So pick the one that has you coming back, I would say.
Yeah.
That's DDR for me. I'm coming back to it now that summer's happening, and I'm so happy.
That's fun.
All right. I think that's about it. Of course, let me run through the usual. If you want to keep up with all the stuff that we've got going on, you can go to our website, videogamechoochoo.com. Or you can follow us on Twitter at VGChoochoo. You can follow us on Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/videogamechoochoo. You can find us on YouTube, where we post videos or video reviews. We got stream archives. Just look up Video Game Choo Choo on YouTube. It'll come right up. We have our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/VGCC. You can log on there, and you can take a look at the streams that we do. You know, we usually announce our streams like a day or two in advance to let you know that they're happening. So, you know, probably follow our social media. We have our Patreon, patreon.com/VGCC. You can go there and just pay $3 to gain access to not only our anime podcast, Unlimited Railworks, but Solon, actually, you did something new, if you want to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, I put my field notes up from playing through Resident Evil 8. And so if you want to see my raw reaction to a lot of the scenes in that game, it's all contained in a nice little readable format that is really fun to read. Mm-hmm. And I had a great time putting it together. So if you want 12 pages of just dense notes on my thoughts, like the deep, deep thoughts on
spoilery,
R8, it's all there.
It's all spoilery, though. Just an FYI.
Oh, yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's juicy.
Yeah. And come hang out with us in the GameZone.zone. You type that into your web browser, thegamezone.zone, and it'll bring you to our Discord server. You can hang out with us. We, watch stuff. We chat. We game. There's all kinds of stuff that we do in there. So just feel free to join in. It's a great time. And I would also like to thank Melt Channel /Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to more of their stuff, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com and magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. Or you can even find them on Spotify and some other places such as that. Solon, where can people find you?
Hey, you can find me at SolinFace on Twitter, on twitch.tv. I'll be there doing streams every week. And all over the place. If you look for SolinFace, you'll find me.
Mm-hmm. Scott, how about you?
I am Scott Blah on Twitter, SCOTTBLAH.
Okay. And LV?
I'm LV May Parian, LVMAPARIAN.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, at Twitter. I'm just here to vouch in that here in the United States, it's Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Highly recommend looking up the hashtags through those because you have a lot of amazing creators and creatives doing stuff. In light of, unfortunately, a lot of horrible things going on in regards to hate crimes against Asians specifically, in the United States at least. I want to just comment that as an American. And yeah, do your part in just checking out things and supporting maybe people you've never even heard of. And yeah, there's bound to be a lot of resources on ways you can help as well. So I'm not gonna go into that here. Do your research in terms of supporting what you wish to support. I myself may have my own narrowed perspectives on things. But yeah, just something to put that out there. Thank you.
Thank you. And feel free to follow me at JOHN_MICHONSKI on Twitter. And that's it. Thank you folks for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. So long.